morning, Vancouver. It's currently 9 a.m. Very sunny skies outside. It's Tuesday morning, January 17th, 2025. I don't know why I chose this date, but we're gonna stick with it. So, in today's report, we have new research found by some high schoolers about goldfish. The stuff you eat, not the stuff you eat, I mean. This is not the snack, the actual fish itself. So, we'll be having an interview, and mostly forgot. My name is John Lennon. The guy got assassinated. I don't know, I'm still alive, but here I am, I guess. In other news, we have Mr. John Yetman from University Hill Secondary School, who has been elected and nominated as the best teacher of the decade. So, and lastly, for today's report, Donald Trump is going to be campaigning for presidency in 2024. And before we get started, let's thank today's sponsor, Nissan.
You know, one of Nissan's EVs survived the North Pole, and one can go 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. And they're all emission free.
Thank you, Nissan. If you want to help our very, very responsible with our money, here's the number. Please call this number that's on the screen right now if you want to sponsor, give us money to buy drugs, because we're high on time. That's homework. Thank you, Mr. David. So now we have reports. So actual normal students have conducted, not students, like doctors. We're not students, we're just actual professors or doctors, what we call us. We'll be doing an interview with goldfish and invasive species. What are those? I'm just a news anchor. I don't know much. So we are passing on to Mr. What's his name? Oh, I don't know. Introduce yourself. Thank you, John. Here we are at the news station. We have Mr. Interviewer, Professor Poe, here with us, joining us today.
Hello.
He's from Goldfish Industries. What a stupid name. I don't know that, but thank you for being here, Poe. So let's start off with our interview today about goldfish.
Yeah.
Hence the name.
Yeah.
So what are invasive species before we get started? Because
Okay.
since there's a lot of you are kind of stupid out there, that's why are you watching the news when you just don't have knowledge by yourselves? But here we go.
Okay, so invasive species are, well, they're very common nowadays because of, random settlers from all over the place bringing in bad things. But basically, invasive species are animals or plants that do not belong to the area that they live in currently. And they are brought in for whatever reason, maybe because settlers came in and brought them, or because farmers decided to, bring in certain animals to kill pests and all that. So there are many reasons why there are invasive species.
So when you talk about invasive species, so it's essentially for example, the species that don't belong in such location.
Yeah.
So what's the case with goldfish?
Right.
Is it origin from I don't know, somewhere in Antarctica? I'm just an interviewer. I'm giving out scripts.
Yeah.
I'm stupid. So are they from Antarctica
Yeah.
or I don't know, Norway because they have fish, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, so it'll be very funny if goldfish originated in Antarctica. But goldfish they're originally from Eastern Asia, and they were first kept as pets in China around year 960, and have since been sold as pets to many people.
I eat goldfish.
Oh really?
The crackers are so good.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't eat the actual fish. That'd be just, that'd be weird.
Yeah.
We don't eat people. So, how and why has goldfish moved to, I don't know, I was natural habitat? Because, you see as an example, you see goldfish out here, I don't know, they get produced, everywhere. I don't know where the hell the goldfish crackers come from, but not the crackers, but the fish.
Right. Okay, so goldfish were first, moved from North America, because since from China, people were, goldfish was sold to people all over the world. And so goldfish were moved from North America because of the United States Commission on Fisheries, right? So who received the first official import of goldfish from Japan back in 1878. And let's see. So throughout the late 19th century, goldfish were bred in ponds in Washington and Baltimore, and goldfish were also used as prizes at fairs, festivals. Kids would go there, they would do something, and they'll win goldfish. Kids enjoyed that kind of stuff.
Instagram post got 5 likes. God damn. I'm sorry.
You're
So how did goldfish spread in North America?
Well,
the crackers, of course.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of crackers. I'm going goldfish crackers right now, but yeah.
Right. Okay. So Goldfish are mostly used as household pets. Like, and then when people don't want them, they just throw them away. Like, either release them in ponds or rivers, or just flush them down the toilet. What a cruel thing to do, right?
So you're saying is humans are still like trash people,
Yes.
just like that.
Yes.
Trump.
Right. Yeah. So like, and then these goldfish, they spread because they're able to breed with other carp, like similar kind of creatures, and then they just keep expanding and expanding. And since goldfish are just like carp, they're bottom feeders, so they like migrate long distances and just like feed on things, and they like spread and they lay eggs all over the place.
So it's essentially British.
Yes.
That makes British people out there. That's essentially what you're doing. But with fish, you know how you just go around the world and take stuff from people. That's what you're doing. But with fish, so humans. Good. Okay. Next question is from one of our sponsors, Nissan. Please give us more money. So, how much money to have like y'all also like the goldfish invasion? It's not any invasion, so there's no guns involved. There's just fish, and just shoot fish, and that's just waste of money. Yeah. I mean, humans are stupid. You know.
Yeah, so like the cost of removing these goldfishes vary obviously because these invasions might not be as big as certain areas, or like maybe the certain kind of goldfish are easier to remove. But there's this one example that we had to deal with in the West Medical Lake in the U.S. somewhere. The goldfish infested a lake, and then they were starting to kick out the local population, and like that's not a good thing.
Just like the British.
Exactly.
It's essentially what you're trying to say in the easier to understand language, because we know most of our audience are kids because they're forced to watch news like my parents. So in other news, it's essentially Christopher Columbus kicking out the indigenous people, and that's what it's doing.
Right.
Same thing. History reenacts itself.
Yeah.
And thank you, humans. I'm here. I'm not doing a journal. I'm not sure I'm saying that. I know I should not say that. But before I get cancelled here and off the internet, so what's the overall assessment of the situation and why we should be concerned? Because it's one of the criteria. It's not. I mean, it's not a criteria. I mean, no, wait. Because we need to make them scared. Want our viewers to be scared about goldfish crackers taking over the world. So.
Yeah, so far the invasion in North America has only had bad negative effects on the native species. Like most notably, the sea creatures that live in North America waters. The goldfish would like eat snails and small insects, fish eggs, and young fish. Basically, these goldfish are just everything eaters. They eat everything in their way. Yeah, but like, since they clear out everything, they don't leave any food for the native people, or not the native people, the native fish. Or like the goldfish eat eggs, so it doesn't allow the other
They hate children.
fish. Yeah, exactly.
They hate children.
And it's just affecting all the native creatures, and they're just like pushing all the native creatures out.
How do government deal with goldfish invasion?
This stormwater pond in St. Albert is covered in snow. But 6 weeks ago, environmental teams removed thousands of Asian goldfish. Officials thought they would net upwards of 5,000. It turned out to be closer to 40,000, many larger than you'll find in a pet store.
And that's why I call them monster fish. They are cute when they're in their bowl. Once you release them, they get as big as they can.
So about 48 known locations of goldfish in urban stormwater ponds, golf course ponds, campground ponds across the province.
The cold doesn't help either. Last winter, St. Albert officials froze the pond to the bottom, and it still didn't kill them off. They expect to be catching goldfish in St. Albert until at least 2019, and all because someone got rid of a pet.
People seem to think that if they don't want their pet anymore, the most humane thing to do is to release it.
But that is illegal and can net you a $100,000 fine and up to a year in jail. Officials say if you're looking to dump your goldfish, either take it back or give it a proper burial.
Goldfish.
Yes. That's a movement we're trying to start.
So that's why the goldfish industries, you know, goldfish is
Yes.
sweet. So you mentioned how like it's a negative effects, right?
Yeah.
So what are the consequences of goldfish as an invasive species? Because like the British, they, or any European country during that exploration era, they brought diseases and stuff that they killed the indigenous population within both America and the two Americas. So could we like consider the same thing with invasive species like goldfish? So it's like we're trying to getting rid of the main population. So it's kind of like the same thing, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, so the goldfish don't really bring in diseases, you know. Like they're urgently pets, so they're safe to humans, right? Like
By eco-fish. As
Right.
a fish.
Right. yeah, and then like they're
I'm bored.
safe into humans, right? Like they don't really bring in other diseases for the animals, but the only problem is that they destroy habitats. So because since they eat everything, they destroy habitats, and then when the goldfish destroy the habitats, the native fish can't eat. They don't have any food to eat.
Don't eat.
Right, exactly.
Just go on, just like, I don't know, I don't know, those Muslim things, like, or Islam, correct if I'm wrong, but like, they usually go like, Ramadan or something, they just don't eat, fish just do the same thing as humans, or fish.
Yes, and like these like goldfish, since they're clearing out everything and they're just multiplying, like bunnies, like they push out and they lower the diversity of the native species. And so now we can't, we go fishing in a lake, all we catch are goldfish, when you could just buy one at a dollar store somewhere, right? Like,
That's just gonna be dollar store. You can essentially find goldfish anywhere, right? In Savon, at Safeway, at not Best Buy, at Walmart, at Superstore. They're everywhere. It tastes so good. It's so small. It's so crispy.
I agree.
Good brand. Well, thanks for coming today, Poe.
Thank you for having me on here.
Honor.
To wrap up this news segment, Donald J. Trump, former 45th president of the United States of America, is campaigning for presidency once again. Well, look at the time. Before the video gets too political, let's play the ads and then we'll come back and talk something else. Who votes for Trump? Are we still alive? Oh yeah, we're still alive.